I would say probably my dad thinks of it more in like the 10, 15, 25 year span because he's lived a lot more life than I have. And so he realizes 15 years goes by really quick. I mean, for me, 15 years ago, I was graduating high school, and now I'm a father of three, soon to be four. So looking at it long term like that, he notices and he has seen, what you do today is going to have an effect on the long term goal. And doing that, and changing the landscape definitely has positive benefits that we've seen for immediate as well as long term. But I mean, there's doing those kinds of things, and I mean, it always changes. There's adding new burn units, changing the fire regimen, how often we go back into the burn unit that we currently have. Um, there have been some times where we've had 3 or 4 years in between, and then there's also been times where we've had 9 or 10 months in between burns. Some of those were necessity that we didn't really plan to burn that, but we needed to for a specific reason. Um, and we've noticed the first couple years doing them a little more frequently isn't a bad thing. One of the things, especially being here in the South, that we're a little more leery on is the grass encroachment. I mean, that grass it's pretty wild how fast it can take over. I mean, just like the grass in your yard that does it out there in nature too. I mean, you burn it every single year. Next thing you know, there's a lot less forbs. There's not as much woody encroachment, but it's all solid grass. And depending on the types of grass, they may or may not be beneficial grasses for the wildlife. So just doing things, always thinking of the long term. And I look forward to our pine savanna we have. It's growing up in Central Virginia. I've had this conversation with Dad before. I don't really know any areas that had pine savannas that have looked like that. That was a kind of a new thing of big open expanses with a few pine trees here and there. It was kind of I say a weird look. It's just something I wasn't used to. That's just not how it normally grows. And now knowing that it doesn't grow that way, that was specifically done, and we manage it that way. Is pretty neat. But also reading, the different early explorers journals and stuff that I can't remember who exactly it was, but they said that they could ride on horseback for hours and hours and never get knocked off by a single tree limb. I mean, nowadays most places you can't do that anywhere. I mean, it is super thick, but I think the Native Americans burned a lot, and I shouldn't say none, most of the landscape probably hadn't been manipulated other than Mother Nature. And I mean, that's how there were hardwood savannas and pine savannas that dominated the area. But I mean, we came through and decided we wanted to cut down trees or create farm fields or neighborhoods, that kind of stuff. And I understand it's necessary for human expansion, but I've thought about it a lot of times, like how cool it would be to rewind this thing 500 years or 1,000 years, and what did it look like right here where I'm standing? I think it'd be cool. It'd be kind of cool to see how things looked. Would it look completely different, or would it look kind of the same?